Today's session, we will learn about how you would be able to manipulate the vowels. Okay, so there's a different type of program we are trying to solve in today's session. So let me close this program first of all. Hopefully you have got the idea how you would be able to manipulate the HTML elements using the JavaScript functions. Okay, if you're gonna click on this button, okay, then you can also try it yourself. Okay, instead of creating two buttons, okay, what you have to do, just you can simply create or solve this particular problem as a task. Instead of creating a two button, just you have to create a one button in your actually on top of your terminal, right? Now the point, if you are able to see that I have created a two button, right, the order and the unorder, you can simply create only one button. When I'm gonna click order, so inside the order, so this particular button is converted to an order, right? So hopefully you are understood what I'm talking about. And now on, instead of order, you are able to see unorder on top of the button. Okay, when you click on the same button, so your list will be converted into the unordered collection, the same. So that's, you can say button. So you have to add a JavaScript concept inside the button as well. Okay, because the value of the button always you have to change once the list in unordered collection. Okay, just the order should be there. Once the list is in order collection, though, instead of order, you are able to see on top of unorder on this. Okay, this type of task you can simply solve for your practice. So let me close this one and dispose the web page what I have created earlier. So we want to reverse our string. Okay, what will be the method to reverse your string? So you can simply use a different methods there. Okay, so let's suppose if I'm gonna use motive is we have to reverse a one string. Okay, this is a very basic program, but you have to understand the concept of the algorithm, how you would be able to reverse a string into a different way, right? So we're gonna reverse a string using the JavaScript. So first of all, I'm gonna enter the boilerplate of the HTML. Okay, inside this, I'm gonna write my normal topic, reverse a string. So in today's session, we will discuss about the multiple programs only. So this is what I'm gonna do and go live. You would be able to see the web page there. That's how it look like. Okay. Now the point, I'm gonna create a one script tag where we will write our JavaScript code. Okay, so first of all, if we want reverse a string, so just you can simply take a one string, right? So I'm gonna take a one string here, or either we can also create a function as well, right? So first of all, I'm gonna take a one string data, the str1 what you can simply use. So I'm gonna take web development of the JavaScript. Okay, this is the one string what I have taken here. Now the point is I have to reverse this particular string. So for that, there's a multiple method, just I have told you. First of all, we will use a one inbuilt method. Okay, what will be the inbuilt method? We will use the reverse function of the array. And what will be the processor, what algorithm you're gonna use? Just first of all, you have to split your string into a single character inside the array. After that, just you can simply reverse your array and join again, and that particular string will be a reverse string. Okay, and the second one, we will create a one functions to reverse your string. Okay, using the negative index. Okay, just you can simply use a loop there, right? The third one, you can also use the recursion method to reverse your string. So either you can also use a different method as well. Okay, according to your approach. So first of all, we will go for along with the inbuilt method. Okay, so and how you would be able to reverse your string using an inbuilt method. So let me create a function for that. So the function, and the function name could be anything, reverse a string, right? Inside the reverse string, I'm gonna take a one input. My bad. I'm gonna take a one argument name as a str. What one I'm gonna call the reverse string function. So it will take a one parameter from a user. This particular parameter will be the string what you have to reverse. And now what I'm gonna do here, let's suppose if I'm gonna create few variables here, either you can simply create a variables using the let. So I'm gonna split my string here. Okay, so what string I have received once I will try to call my functions, that particular string will be initialized inside the str. So I'm gonna split my string here. Okay, using the split function. This is the one function of the string you can simply use. This is a one inbuilt method you can simply say. So I'm gonna split my string using this method, right? And where I'm gonna store, so I have to create a one new variable here. So I'm gonna try to create a variable let, and now I'm gonna use This is a split string what I am gonna store. Okay, this is what we have done. Now we have a string. If you want to check it out, just you can simply check using the console.log. Okay, for testing purpose, but there's no need for that. If you want to do that, just look at this. Or either you can simply print your string on top of the, that will be a nice idea. Instead of just using console document.write, you know very well, just I can simply check using this method. Okay, what does it mean? So the function, I have to execute the function as well, guys. So I'm going to execute my function and I'm going to pass the str1 what I have already stored there. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now each and every character of your string, okay, now you have split using the array. So all the string have been stored inside the split string. Now what's the next method? Just you have to reverse your array. To reverse your array, just you can simply use a normal method, split string dot. There's a multiple method you can simply call, right? So I'm gonna use a reverse method. Okay, so this is a one inbuilt method of the array. Okay, it will reverse the string. And now when you're gonna use this method, this is not a in place. Okay, so it will not change the original array, so only it will return a reverse string to you. Just you can simply create a new variable reverse string. Okay, so where I'm gonna put my reverse string inside this particular variable, right? So that's I'm gonna print. So if you want to print one more time, just you can simply print this string right now. This is how you'll be able to reverse a string. I'm gonna save. Just look at this, and now you have successfully reversed your string, but there's a commas between them. Okay, this is the one testing purpose, right? So what I need to do, let's suppose once you have successfully reversed your string, just you have to join it again into a single string. To join, just I'm gonna create a one more variable, or either just you can simply use this method reverse string. Okay, there's a one more inbuilt method of the string. Okay, and that particular method will be called as join. A join is a method. Okay, along with join, just you can simply pass the this method. Okay, so your string will be joined again and it will return a one single string to you, and you can simply store that string into a variable. So I'm gonna store, this is a join array, and I'm gonna print the join array this time. Just look at this, what we have done. So you have successfully reversed your string using the inbuilt method. I didn't use any own algorithm, just I have used the inbuilt methods, right? So this is a method how you'll be able to reverse your string. If you want, if you have a different string, str2, either you can simply take a string from the input from the form using the form method, or using the IDs and document by ID, just it's your choice, right? So I can simply use a Python training or the skill center. So that's how you'll be able to see. I'm gonna pass the str2, and now you can simply reverse your string using this method. Now this is a one method, right? So instead of print, guys, just you have to use a one normal approach. You have to return your reverse string. That will be a nice idea. So join array, it will return the join string here. So where you gonna use, so you can simply store the final data. Okay, and now you have to print your string. This is a nice approach if you want to use, if you want to create a function. So always you have to return. Okay, because from where a user will call your function, you in response user will get a return string, because you can call multiple times the same string here. So I'm gonna print the final data. That's how it works. You will get the output there. So this is the one method to reverse your string. Okay, there are some questions. Is a split only work for the split string, or it can be also work in a simple string? Yeah, you can simply split your string using a different method. Let's suppose if you have a very big string, look like this. I'm gonna write a one more string here, str3. Okay, so I'm gonna write this is JS training, right? So this is a, I have a string with 4 words. What I want to do, I want to reverse this string as well. No issue. Just you can simply write document.write. First of all, I'm gonna put the break to line break. I'm gonna call my function again, and here I'm gonna call my function. Function name will be the reverse string. Okay, a reverse string. I'm gonna pass the str3. What does it mean? Just look at this. What it will do along with your str. Okay. Okay, the point is, just look at this. Now it will also split your string. What happened if you are talking about the only split function? If you want to know about the split function, just let me tell you the one more time. Not to worry. So what split function will do for you? Zoom in. I'm gonna put the one string here. This is GS training, right? I'm gonna let data dot split, and now on which behalf you want to split your string. If you will use simply the double quotes there, okay, so it will split your string. Just each and every character will be split. If you're gonna use a space there, just look at this. So it will give you the string. It will split your string on behalf of a space because you have passed a space there. That's how it works. If you're gonna pass the I there, so it will split your string on behalf of I. So it will create a multiple characters. It will create multiple elements of your array on behalf of I. That's how it works. Let me go back and just pause this one. Okay, so this is a one method, right? So if you want to discuss about the another method, okay, what will be the another method you can simply use. And the one more thing, guys, if I have created a multiple variable, if you are able to see, right, just I have created a multiple variable for a better understanding. Otherwise there's a no need to create this type of variable. Just you can simply perform this action into a one line as well. And what will be the line? So let me explain. So instead of creating multiple variable, just you can simply use the one line statement return. Okay, what do you want to return? You want to split your string. Okay, this is, you have split your string. Again, just you can simply pass the double quotes here. You can reverse your array because it will reverse, it will return a array, right? Just you can simply call another method called as reverse. So directly it will reverse your array as well. And here just you can join again the same array using the same method. So this is a one line function you can simply define. Okay, this is a function. Okay, inside the function just you have defined a one line. Okay, is either this is a one approach I have used for a better understanding, but you have to use this approach if you want to go for a program. Just you can simply save, and now there's a no issue inside the program. Now this particular line has been executed 3 times and you will get the result on top of it. That's how it works. Okay, there's a no need to create multiple variables because it will take a memory in your program as well, right? So that's how you can simply do these type of works. So let me move ahead. So now the different, let's suppose if, yeah, we have already discussed about this method, right? So I'm going to comment all the section here. To comment this section, so I'm going to use this method. Now I have use multiple comments. That's cool. Okay, done. Now if you want to go for a different method, okay, you have a 3 string there, you want to just, I'm gonna use the same string. Okay, so I have to create one another function. And now what method we're gonna use here? So we will reverse our string, okay, using decrement of loop. What will be the method? So I'm gonna show you. Just look at this. So just you have to create one more functions to reverse your string. Okay, the function name could be anything. So I'm gonna put the same name, reverse string. This will be the function what I'm gonna create here. Okay, inside the function, just I'm gonna take a one parameter, what string I want to reverse, the str. And here just you have to create a one loop. Okay, which type of loop you have to create? So the first of all, let's suppose you have to create a new string as well. Okay, so I'm gonna using a for loop here. Okay, which type of parameters I'm gonna decide. So you know very well what will be the syntax of the for loop, right? So what will be the syntax? If I'm gonna explain the syntax of for loop here, so just first of all you have to declare the variable, right? After that you have to define the text expression. After that you have to define the decrement or the increment. It's depend on you what you're gonna use here. So first of all, we have to initialize a one variable. So let me initialize a one variable here where I is equal to, okay, just you can simply define the value of I could be anything. So I can simply define the value of I the equivalent to the length of the string because I have to use a reverse decrement, right? So I'm gonna use a length property of the str. What does it mean? Okay, so what does it mean? So just I have used a length property of the str, guys. Okay, when I'm using a length property of the str, what will be the length of the str will be initialized inside the I. Okay, that's how it works. Or either just you can simply initialize this variable before the for loop as well. That particular thing will also work fine. There's a no issue inside this. Okay, so that's how it's work, guys. My bad. Now the point is just we have to define the one text expression, and what expression I'm going to use, just we can simply use the one very normal expression. Your loop will be execute until the value of the I will not be greater than equal to the length. Oh, zero, my bad. Okay, so that's how you can simply use this expression here. Instead of comma, just you have to use a semicolon. And now you have to use a one decrement. That's what I'm going to use. And now how it will execute, so let me explain, not to worry. So now I have to create the body of the for loop as well. That's how I will be create a one body here. And now that's cool. Let me add just a one space. What mistake we have done, the str length and blah blah blah, instead of comma, semicolon. That's cool. Okay, so this is what we have done, guys. So just first of all, I have initialized the I variable. Inside the I will be initialized equivalent to the length of your string. Okay, and now when your loop will be loop will be execute from the higher value. Each and every time the I value will be decrement by the 1. Okay, and each and every time your loop will be execute until the value, until the greater than 0. That's how it works. So what I need to do, let's suppose now you will get a 1 string each and every time, right? Either you can simply use this method to check out your string. So if I'm going to use this method, just look at this. I want to print. Okay, and what I'm going to do, just I'm going to pass my reverse string function. I want to print my reverse str1. Okay, that's what I want. So let me go live again, console. Okay, just I'm going to execute my function again. That's how you are able to see. Now the point is, just look at this. Only you will get the number, you will not get the string here. Okay, if you want a string, just you would be able to get the string as well. But what will be the length of your string, just you can simply calculate the length of your string equivalent to the 10th, right? So that's why you will get the 0 to 10. So you have a 11 characters there, but the index you have 0 to 10. If you want the numbers, just you can simply use this method to print the number as well, str, and just you can simply use this method. Okay, you will get the string. Just look at this tp, this is a one reverse string you are able to get. But you don't have to print on top of console. You want to concatenate the string again, so just you can simply create a one variable as well inside the function. What variable you're going to create here, just we can simply create a variable name let and the new string, right? So where you're going to add the new string inside this variable again and again. Just instead of using this line, I don't want to print the string on top of console. Just I want to add, just you can simply use this operator, right? So this is the one arithmetic operator where I have used, initialize operator what I have used here. So I want to add each and every time the reverse string there. That's how it works. At the end, what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna return my reverse string. So come out from the loop. So at the end, it will return your string, what it will print here. That's how it works. Okay. Why it will give you the blah 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 spelling of the return. Okay, that's how it works. Now just what I need to do, so I have to pass the reverse string here, and I'm gonna use a document method to print my string on top of web page. Document.write. So this is a one another method what I have used, guys, to save and now execute. And just look at this, you are able to, okay, there's a one issue. What does it mean? This is a one undefined as well. It will give you the what does it mean. So let me check it out. It will return a string. Next will be the length -1. Okay. Oh, okay. So the last time one it will give you that, will also add the one there. So just you can simply use for that. And now the point is, yep. So if you are able to see now, it will try to add the one index as well as there. And the what will be the index it will add there, -1. So just you can simply use the, or either if we try to use this method, so my bad. Just we have to understand. Let me debug what it will do. You console.log. Just a moment, guys. New string. Open the console. Okay, so first of all, the value will be the undefined, and it will add the values there. The initial value, New string. Okay. Oh, got it. Because the point is, just let me explain to you. Okay, so what it will trying to use, because it will trying to fetch the value, though just you have to use a -1 there. Either you can simply initialize the value before. That will be the nice idea. Okay, so what I'm trying to use, so now it will give you the reverse string. Yeah, that's how it works, right? So this is the one method. So let me go back. So because it will try to search the index from the 10 and the index will not be there, so that's why I have just used the -1, and now it will return a string in a proper way. There's no issue. That's how you can simply reverse your string using this method. There's a one more method you can simply use to reverse your string. That particular method will be called you can also use a recursion function there to reverse your string as well. Okay, in case of recursion, just you have to create a one function, and again you will try to call your function until the your whole string will not be reversed. Okay, so that will be another idea you can simply use in case of your string. So if you want to go along with that particular method, you can also go, but this is a one method. Just you have to create the particular method by your own self. Okay, just you have to reverse your string, okay, using the recursion method. Okay, just you have to reverse your string using the recursion function. So let me move ahead, guys, and now we'll be able to create some basic program to understand how you can simply fetch just the next program we will create here. Just you have to calculate the length of calculate the number of the vowels inside a string. Okay, and now that type of program just you can also create using the basics function of the JavaScript. So let me comment this particular. Let me dispose this web page and let's create a new web page here to understand that particular program. So let me close this. So let me create a new file here. Okay, in this file we will try to understand the concept of how you can simply calculate the numbers of the vowels inside a one string. Okay, to create the type of program, just I'm gonna create a one file first of all. So we will discuss about the vowels right now. HTMLs. Okay, so here let me enter the boilerplate of the HTML. Inside this, just I'm gonna write that heading. It could be anything. Vowel counts, and here I'm gonna put the one heading as well. Let me go live. You would be able to see the web page on top of your Firefox. Okay, that's how it works. Now the point is we have to create a one tag script, and inside this I'm going to write our JavaScript. So what will be the motive? Just we have to calculate the vowel inside a string, and to create this type of function just need to create a one more function. So I'm going to create a function name, could be anything, guys. So I'm going to use the function name vowel count. Okay, so this is a function what I'm trying to create here. And the point is, when you want to count the vowel, the first of all you have to understand, okay, how many vowels you have already, right? So each and everybody will know how many length of vowels, my bad. So just I'm gonna store the all vowels what simply I can count inside a string. So I'm gonna use this method for that. So total vowels, I'm gonna create a one list of the total vowel what I can simply consider inside a string. So A, E, I, O, U. So I'm gonna use in capital as well. So this is a one method. So I have written all the vowels inside a one string. So this is a one string I have created. Now the point, if you want to count, so just you have to create a one more variable for that. If you're gonna count the number of vowels there, just you can simply use the vowel count. So this is a one more variable. I'm gonna initialize the value 0, because when I will try to count the vowels in my string, from where you will get the string from the parameters. When a user wants to calculate the number of vowels, the user will call this particular function and pass the string in which string the user wants to count the vowels. Okay, this is the one thing what I have defined here. The string could be anything, right? I'm going to define some basic string here as well. So this is JS training or the, so I will get the vowels multiple there. Okay, that's what I'm going to use. So now the next point, just we have to count the vowels. What I'm going to use here, just we have to use a again for loop. Okay, which type of loop I'm going to use here? Just this is a very basic method for. So I'm going to initialize a one variable here. The variable could be anything. So I'm going to initialize the let. or I have to use a var there because this is a one scope variable I have to use. So I'm going to use the I is equal to 0. This is one variable I have initialized. Okay, there's a no need to use the decrement, so I'm going to use the increment this time. So what I'm going to use, so my loop will be execute until the length of the string. Okay, so the str, what str I will get from there. So I'm gonna use the property of the string here. So that's what I have mentioned, the str.length. So my loop will be execute until the value of the I will be the less than the str of the length. Okay, so the next thing, so I'm gonna mention the one condition. So just I'm gonna use the increment as well. Okay, each and every time the value of the I will be increment. So I have to initialize the body of the for loop here. Inside the body of for loop, just we have to define a one condition. Okay, so which type of condition I'm gonna use here? So let's suppose if you want to define a one condition, the condition now is a very basic. So I'm gonna use the variable where I have stored the multiple vowels, right? So where I have stored the vowels, so the name of this particular variable is vowel list. So I'm going to use a one method. The method is a index of. If you had remember, what does it mean? So index of method, what it will give you, just you have to pass which string you want to search and on which position you want to search, right? So what does it mean? So which string I want to search inside the index of, I'm going to pass the str. Okay, inside the str, I want to search the index number of 0. That's what I want to do. So what does it mean? So I'm trying to search that particular character inside the vowel list. So if I'm going to explain in a layman way, let's take an example. Okay, when you are trying to call your function, the function is vowel count. Okay, so when you're going to call your function using the str1, or either you can simply create a one more string, let str2, and I'm going to use a one very basic string here, hello. That's cool. Okay, so I'm going to pass the str to here. What does it mean? So when I'm trying to pass the str to, the hello will be initialized inside the str, right? So if I'm gonna trying to write in my program, so if you can simply let it out, the str will equivalent to the hello. Okay, you have stored the hello inside the str. At what will be the length of the I? If you want to check it out, the length of the I will be, oh, the length of the str will be, if you're gonna calculate the length of the str, just you can simply calculate the 1 2 3 4 5, right? So that will be 5. Now the first time when your loop will execute, okay, when you are trying to fetch, because the initial value of the I is 0, okay, when you are trying to fetch the value of the I, so the value of the I is 0, so it will return the H from here. Okay, and what you are trying to do, just you are trying to search the index of H inside the vowel. Okay, but actually the H was not there, so that it will return a false here, the condition will be false. Once this particular condition will true, so it will return a true here. Just you can simply increase the number of count in your v count. That's how it works. So I'm going to increase the number of 1 by v count. That's how you can simply calculate. Another one more thing you have to pass, it will return until, just you have to use a one condition. So it will pass here that particular what you will get from here, right? Just you can simply use not equivalent to the -1, because if you would not get a one string there, so it will return the -1. Only the condition will true when you're gonna use this particular condition, because I have used the not equivalent to the -1, when that will, then when the whole condition will be true, so on that time you will be increment the operator, otherwise you will not use the increment of the v count value. So I'm gonna use this method. So and now if you want to write document dot write, okay, I want to write the value of this. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let me check it out. So I have to return the value as well, guys. I'm gonna return what I want to return. So v count. Okay, this is what we have done. So if you are able to see how many vowels inside the hello, the first one is E and the O. That's why you will get the 2 value. Okay, so the total number of vowels inside the hello is number of 2. The second thing, let's suppose if you're gonna pass the str1 there, okay, and just look at this, you will get the number of words. Okay, and now the how this thing is work internally, actually the internally is, this is a very basic thing what I have defined. If I'm going to explain this thing again, just give me a moment. So what I have done, just I have created one function name as a vowel count, right? And inside this I'm pass a one parameter name as str. So when a user wants to call the vowel count, so the user will pass a one string here. The user will pass a one str variable. Inside this variable, I have defined a one string there, right? So this particular string have been initialized inside the str when I'm trying to call my function. Okay, so after that, just to have create, just to have declare the two more variable, the let vowel list and the v count. After that, I have using a one loop, and your loop will be execute. But the point is, when your loop will starting the execute, the initial value of the I will be 0. The when your loop first time will be execute, the value inside the I is 0, and just you are trying to use this method, right? If I'm going to explain this method into the on top of console, let me explain in a better way. Instantly you will get the result as well. So just look at this. So actually I have defined a one very basic condition what it will do for you. So if I'm going to create, if I'm going to store a one string here, just look at this str. What str I have stored? I'm going to store hello. Okay, so I have stored the hello here. So what I need to do, let's suppose this is the one str I have written here. So what does it mean? Let's suppose I'm going to mention, I'm going to store a one vowel as well. Inside the vowel, I'm going to store the vowel list. A, E, I, O, U, E. That's cool. So I have defined the two variables. So I'm going to use a one variable. Just I'm going to zoom in. Vowel. Okay. So this is the one index of function I can simply use. And the index of function will return the -1 if you are not able to, if you are not able to search a particular string there. So let's suppose if I'm going to pass the, so A was there on top of 0 index, that's why you are getting. If I'm going to pass the O there, it will also return a one number, right? But this time it will return a 3. But the point is, if when it will return the -1 if you're gonna pass a s there, right? Because the capital S is not exist inside the vowel, that's why it will return the -1. So in our program, what I have done, just I am passing the str and just I'm changing my the value of the I again and again. The first of all, it will be the 0. After that 1, 2, 3. When I'm trying to use this method, so it will iterate all the hello. So it will check one and one condition. So if you're going to check out the for the O here, just look at this, because if you are trying to find the index number of hello phone, you will get the O from there, and the O already inside the vowel, that's why you will get the positive. Okay, if you will return the 3 here, okay, because the L is not there, because the L is not inside the vowel, it will return the -1, and the -1 is equivalent to the -1. The condition is false, then it will not increase the V count. If the -1 is not equivalent to the -1, the condition will true, so it will increase the number of count here. That's how it works. Okay, so this is what we have done, guys. So let me dispose this web page one more time. So and now I'm going to tell you how you would be able to create the drop down menus using the JavaScript. Okay, so to create a drop down menu, just I'm going to copy the source code of the HTML and CSS what we have already created. Okay, because we will not go for HTML CSS in this. We want to more focus on top of JavaScript. So let me copy paste. Just give me a moment for that. So we'll discuss about the drop down menu. Okay, that's cool. So just give me a moment. Let me copy that. Okay, so this is a very basic source code I have copied. Just if you are able to let me go live. Okay, let me paste here and just look at this. What you are able to see, this is a one clickable drop down. Okay, click on the button to open the drop down menu. Okay, and now this time it's not work because we didn't initialize our JavaScript functions. So we have to create a JavaScript functions to work along with the drop down menu. When you're going to click on drop down menu, that particular menu should be work, right? So to doing this particular part, just I'm going to create a function for that. Before understanding this function, just we have to understand the some classes and the IDs as well. What we have done, just look at this. When I have created one more button along with this, because if you are able to see, the drop down is a actually button. I have add some CSS to look like this button, and when you're going to click on this button, so this is a one function which will execute the function name, which is my function. Okay, and now you have to create this function. Okay, when you are trying to execute this function, your drop down value should be there. And for this, just you have to change few values inside the CSS, because when you're gonna change the values inside the CSS, you would be able to see the values there. Just look at this. If you will change the value instead of none, what I'm gonna use. So either if I'm gonna comment this value as well, just look at this. What happened? Oh, you are able to see your menu. Just look at this: home, about, contact. Only what I have done, just I have changed the value of the display. Or either I can simply comment in a better way. That's how it works, right? So this is the one thing I have defined. I have just comment this line, and you are able to see your menu without click. So the initial value of the display is none, because that's why you are not able to see your drop down menu. Either just you can simply toggle this value using the multiple methods. That's how you have to do. So you have to manipulate your CSS using the JavaScripts. This is your motive you have to do. So to this particular task, so I'm gonna create a one function. So first of all, I'm gonna write the script here. Okay. Once I have write the script, so you have to create your JavaScript code inside this. To create your code, so let me move ahead. So the first of all, okay. So let me create my function. The function name should be the equivalent what you have already defined in your program. The function name I have defined here, the my function. Okay, so this is a function what I have to initialize. When a user will click on top of function, my function will be execute at what I need to change. So I'm gonna use the normal method here. What will be the method I'm gonna use here? So the method I'm gonna use the document. Okay, get element by ID. So now which element you wants to get? So this is the first thing you have to know. Okay, so you want the element of the my drop down. Okay, that's the element what you have to fetch. So I'm gonna use this class, sorry, this ID what I have already defined there. So I have fetched this particular ID using this method. So what I need to do, just I have to toggle the class. Okay, just I can simply fetch. If you want to use this method or print this particular thing on top of console to understand this concept, just you can simply use this method. And just before that, you have to store this variable as well. I'm gonna print the data here. That's what I have done. Open the console here, refresh again, click on drop down, and you are able to get your class. Just look at this. Okay, so inside this, if you are able to see, this is the one class. Okay, actually just you have to fetch the class list if you are able to see. And just if you want to use the class list, inside the class list you have initialized the drop down content and the length and the values, right? So actually what you have to do is you have to toggle the value of the class list. Okay, when you're gonna change the value of the class list to show, okay, you'll be able to see your menu will be work. So what I'm gonna need to do, just you have, instead of print this data on top of console, okay, instead of initialize the variable as well, just we have to fetch the class list first of all. Okay, inside the class list I'm gonna use a one property of the class list will be the toggle. Okay, what I need to toggle, so when a user will click, so I need to use a show there. That's what I have to do. This is a very basic thing what I have done, guys. So just I have saved. When you're gonna click on drop down, so you are able to see your menu. Okay, when you're gonna click on drop down again, so it will toggle the value again and the drop down menu will be vanished from there. But the point, you can also add a different type of functionality as well. Okay, just if you are able to see right down, we have to click on this button. That's why you are able to get this value. But instead of that, you can simply use, because I have add a one event. Okay, that will be event is called a on click. So instead of using this event, we can also use a different type of event. Okay, which type of event you can simply use? So I can simply use a on mouse hover. Okay, what does it mean? So when I'm gonna hover this particular drop down, so the menu will become automatically. Okay, so I didn't do anything here. So if I'm gonna hover again, so then the drop down menu will go from there. But instead of this, just you can also add multiple features. What I'm talking about, so there's a one more moment you can simply use here. What I'm talking, so the when your mouse will be down from the drop down menu, okay, when the mouse will be out from the drop down menu, so your menu should be go automatically from there. So that type of thing, just you have to create a one more event there. Okay, to use this particular, to use that type of event, what you have to use, so just you have to call your function again using that particular event. Or either you can also use the another one more method what I'm talking about. So let me explain. Let's suppose you can also talk about the method. One, I'm gonna click on drop down. You are able to see the menu. There is a no issue. If I'm gonna click on top of empty screen, okay, still your menu would not be removed from here. So you can also add these type of movement. Okay, so if you're gonna click on top of your whole web page apart from drop down, your menu will be go from there, right? But it's still, this particular thing is not work because I didn't define the JavaScript for that. So you have to create a one more function when you are trying to click on top of your window, so your menu will be toggle again. So that's what you have to use. If you want to add that type of JavaScript, just you have to create a one more thing here. Okay, that will, it might be take a time. So actually just you have to add a one more event. Okay, when a user will click outside the drop down, so your menu should be removed from there. To add that particular movement in your screen, just I'm going to use this method. So the window dot on click, so this is a one event. Okay, when a user will click on top of window, so you have to execute a function, or which function you have to execute. So you have to define that particular function as well. So I'm gonna define. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, so I'm gonna define one function here, and inside this function just I'm gonna pass a one event. What does it mean? And inside the event just you have to define the functionality of this function. So just I have initialized the function. Okay, I have passed a one argument inside the event, and this particular function will be initialized inside the window on click. So this inbuilt function will be replaced by the new functions what we are trying to initialize. When a user will click on top of the whole window, so your will, the menu will be toggle again. Okay, using this method. That's what we are trying to do here. So just we have to add the CSS there. So now the point is you are passing a one event, right, when you are trying to call this function. So I'm gonna check a one very basic condition. The condition will be, so I'm gonna fetch the event. Inside the event I'm gonna fetch the target. Inside the target I'm gonna fetch the matches. Okay, so these are the one inbuilt method what I'm trying to fetch from there. And what match, so let's suppose if my this particular event drop btn. Okay, so I'm trying to remove this particular thing. So just I'm gonna use this particular class or what I have used already inside my HTML. If you are able to see, right, this is the one class I have used drop btn, and I have already initialized the one class. Just look at this. So I have to change the values of using this thing. So I'm gonna use drop btn. So what does it mean? So the point is I have to define a condition here. Okay, but the point when I'm talking about, so I'm gonna use a not operator as well. So when this particular thing is not equivalent to the btn, so I'm gonna define the condition of my thing here. So what I need to do, so first of all I have to fetch the content of the drop btn, because I have to manipulate, right? So I have to fetch this particular content. Once I will be able to fetch this content, so I have to manipulate the items of this class. If you want to fetch this particular content, just you can simply use this method, document dot get element by class name. What you are trying to fetch, so I want to fetch drop down content. Okay, that's a class what I want to fetch from there, and I want to store this particular class here where drop down. You can simply create any variables. That's a one variable I have defined there. And now after this, just I'm gonna initialize a one loop. So I'm gonna initialize a loop here where I, the initial value of the I will be 0. I'm gonna use a I should be less than the drop down length. Okay, how many variables you have inside the drop down length? What does it mean? Because I'm trying to fetch the whole class, how many elements you have there, just your loop will be execute the same thing time. I'm gonna give a one increment as well. Okay, now just what I need to do is I have to change the manipulator. I have to change the value of this shows to none, right? So I'm going to use this method. So if the value, so I'm going to define a one condition. So before that, when I'm trying to use this method, guys, so I'm going to put the one variable as well, open drop down. I will explain it again, not to worry. Let me create first of all. So now this thing what I have done, so now I need to create a one condition as well, open drop down. Okay, 1 will be equivalent to the drop down. The value will be I. Or either instead of using this, I can simply simplify in a very basic way. I can simply manipulate the class list contains not double dot. What I mean, so I want to check it out the show. Which element contain the show? So I need to change the value of this. So I'm gonna use the open drop down again, class list, and I'm gonna remove that particular element which contain the show. That's what I have done. So what does it mean? One, this is a very basic thing what I have defined. I'm gonna save. Just first of all, I'm gonna show you how it works. I'm gonna click on drop down. Okay. So now you have to click on top of the blank screen. Okay, still not work. There is some issue. I'm gonna check it out. Just not to worry. So the point is, let me refresh. Okay, so this is a one more thing what I have to check again. Just look at this. First of all, you have to understand the thing. What first of all, I have fetched the whole class which contains the drop down content, right? So this is a one class which is considered inside this. Inside the drop down content, just I have initialized. Just look at this. There's a multiple element, display none, all these things. And using this method, what I have function used here, using this method, just I have initialized the show instead of none. I have initialized the value of the display will be shown. Okay, but the point after that, it will fetch all the element of this particular class, and now it will contain the multiple element. Just look at this. Okay, so just I have initialized in one loop to fetch all the elements from there, and I have initialized a one value from there, drop down I, and after that I have fetched one element from there. I'm trying to check the condition which element have contains the id show, because I have already put the value show there, right? So which element have value show, just I have removed the value from there. That's what I have done here. Once you will remove the value from the show, so the menu will be removed from again in your web page. That's what I have done. Okay, so let me find the little bit error where we have done. So just give me a moment for that. Okay, window on click. This is a one event. Wow, this is a one error. That works. Okay, so this is a thing, guys. Let me click on drop down. Okay, when I'm gonna click on top of the whole window, your menu will be removed from there. Let's look at this. So this is a one another functionality what I have had using the JavaScript. So if you have any doubt until this, please you can simply let me know on top of chat.